Start. Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm live again, but this isn't Conversations with Cobi. This is a new, innovative thing that Cobi Vision is going to present to you. It is the DaPHAB Sports Talk. Now, I love sports, but sports isn't my thing. So I thought I'd get my longtime friend, uh, mentor, big brother, to bring some sports to you from DaPHAB. So here we are with the new host of DaPHAB Sports Talk, my brother, Miguel Perez. How you doing, brother?
What's up, brother Cole? First of all, I got to give it up to you, man. I got to give it up to you, what you're doing with your conversations with Cobi, man. It's been inspirational to what I'm doing here. So blessings to you, what you got going on. And, I got to thank you for taking this dream of mine that I talked about, before with you about, hey, one day I want to do sports talk, though. I want to do some podcasting. And then here you are. Here we are together, working together, looking to build something special that can live on forever. So thank you for making it happen. And here we are, Philly Fantasy Fabrication, the Fab Sports Talk Show. Let's get it.
I know that's right. So let's tell everybody, what is the purpose of the Fab Sports Talk Show?
Well, first, we just want to talk about a variety of sports. So different levels, whether it's going to be high school sports, pro sports, college sports, international, Olympics, at the recreational level. So anything that has to do with sports, we might even do some sports movies. So if it has anything to do with sports, we can bring it together, and it's a way of entertaining some people, get them away from whatever they're doing that night, and just bring them on the show, and we're just gonna bust it up, have a good time.
I know that's right. So let's get into the first thing: high school, college, and rec league. Let's talk to them. Tell us what you got.
Well, for high school, we're going to talk about like high school football, basketball, and of course, my passion, high school wrestling. So we're going to be covering the great state of Pennsylvania, high school wrestling, regular season, postseason, dual season, and of course, the PIAA, AA, and AAA state championships, which is held in Hershey, PA every year. So, and I happen to have gone quite a few years and had some great experiences up there. It's a fantastic event. If anybody wants to just go see the best high school wrestlers, you want to come to Pennsylvania. We dominate the sport at all levels, whether it's the youth sports, high school, with Penn State and Lehigh, Drexel, Pitt. We got some great wrestling college programs as well in the state. So that's one of the areas we want to talk about. We can talk about basketball. Whether it's NBA, college, and football. Football carries a lot of things, because football, we got NCAA football, of course, high school football, NCAA, we go pro, and of course, the most important football, fantasy football. So, you can lead into that a little bit as well, but fantasy football, we got to cover fantasy football, right?
Yes, we definitely do. I'm going to say this. I'm going to bring this on because I wanted to bring this up. Just two things. I want to explain to them what gives you the authority to be able to be this sports talk person, and why we conversed and thought this was the proper program. Miguel not only was a high school wrestler, he was a great high school wrestler in Philadelphia. He was a city league champ. I wrestled. I went to. We both were wrestled at Cheney University together. We were roommates. Miguel was one of the first people I ever seen do fantasy football and fantasy sports, because he did all of them: basketball, baseball, and football. But he did it before they had computers, so he was writing down the stats and mailing them to people. So I think the person that we have in front of us, who keeps track of all this and is detail oriented to bring the sports to you, is my man Miguel. And so let's get into something. What has happened recently that we could talk about in maybe the college or the pro level that you want to discuss? Or where do you want to start first?
Well, I think we have to start off with the Olympic trials. I think the Olympic trials, is something we need to touch base on. There were some few athletes that showed out this week that need to be highlighted. Of course, Wimbledon started today. So those are just things that just have happened recently. And of course, we'll get into some other topics. But the Olympic trials, I mean, how can we not talk about the Olympic trials and Simone Biles and making the U.S. Olympic team? She's a two-time world champion, Olympic gold medalist. She set all the records. She set another Olympic score. I think it was 112 points that she finished with this week. And I mean, Simone Biles is so great at gymnastics that she's actually graded differently. Or let me just say this: she's not graded differently. The scoring in gymnastics goes like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, or something like that, with numbers in between, so you can get like an A1 to like a G5. Well, her moves are so advanced. Like if I tried to explain, I'd probably break my big toe trying to just explain it. So I couldn't even imagine trying to attempt it because I'd break every bone in my body. But she has so far superseded the scoring system that she's actually being penalized. She's so good and so much better than everyone else in the world in the history of the sport that she gets penalized because they don't even have a scoring system. They have to actually invent a scoring system for her. That's how advanced she is. So I think that's an amazing accomplishment that hopefully she wins the gold medal and represents the USA.
Wow. And it's been a few others. They have a 18-year-old young lady named Afing Mu, who is the 800-meter champion. And she was one hair. She's run the third fastest time ever for the 800 meters. And she's only 18. And then there was Gabby Thomas.
Gabby Thomas, right, exactly. Harvard graduate, neuroscience major, working towards working towards her master's degree. I believe she wants to study epidemiology, which of course coming with the global pandemic that we just came out of, right? I mean, think about what she's got. She's got the athleticism, she's got the brain, she's got the whole world. I mean, I'm sure all the sponsors are lining up at her door. So she's going to be, if she's not already a millionaire, she will be very soon. So, good luck to her.
And check this out. Guess who is the only woman in the world to run faster than her? Florence Flojo.
Flojo. You threw that at me and I had an answer for you. Flojo, of course. They're going to make a movie about her soon, too. Now, we'll talk about that movie. But, of course, the other Olympic we got is Sha'Carri Richardson, the 100 meters. She just set the world record 2 days ago it was. The woman's amazing. So we just got a lot going on with the Olympic sports, between the gymnastics and the track and field. But, of course, what's the oldest sports in the world? Wrestling. So, of course, we have Kyle Dake leading the team with David Taylor, and they were arch rivals. Kyle Dake at Cornell, David Taylor at Penn State. They wrestled each other quite a few times in college, in the national finals. Now they're both Olympic teammates. And I can't forget Jordan Oliver. He's a PA kid up from Easton, not too far from me, maybe about an hour and 15 minutes. And Jordan Oliver, 3-time state champion in high school. His weight class, I'm not sure what the weight class. It was an exemption made. It was like a new weight class that they introduced this year for the Olympics. But Jordan Oliver is a beast. And interesting story about Jordan Oliver. When I was at the high school state tournament, me and a couple of my buddies actually met his mother at the lobby while having breakfast. And Jordan Oliver calls in, so she actually puts him on speaker. So we're kind of having the conversation with Jordan Oliver, but he's getting reamed out by his mother, and he was all in her business about what she tweeted. And it's like, Mom, you can't be tweeting this stuff because Lehigh Valley wrestling that's like a whole other country in itself. But the best was when she hung up with her son. She says, "Boy, just go home. Just go. You better go train. Go win a gold medal for me." And that was just amazing because here's the guy that, if I stepped on the mat, the best chance I have is at 0-0 when we shake hands. And his mom she cusses him out, hangs up on him, which is a great story. Frank Calderon and Eddie Torres, my homies, were with me that day, and I think Tim O'Toole was with me as well. So they'll vouch for that story. And her name's Tina, by the way. Amazing story, amazing woman. But anyhow. So we have a lot going on just with those Olympic sports right there.
Yeah, and the USA USA Wrestling is really turning the corner, taking it to another level. These people we're talking about are starting to be the new breed of USA Wrestling. Like Kyle Dake had beat Jordan Burroughs even to be in that position. True. And he went through. If you watch the USA Wrestling Olympic trials, Kyle Dake went through people like a tornado. Yes. And you're talking about the best wrestlers in the world, some of them. And he tore them apart.
And Jordan Burroughs is local. He's a Jersey guy. Wrestled at Nebraska. Obviously, world champion, Olympic gold medalist. I mean, he would, if he was able to compete in the Olympics, he would medal. He would either win gold or silver, probably. It'd be him and Dake in the finals. And unfortunately, only one could represent the country.
I'm gonna say I'm glad he was on the Olympic team. I got much love for Jordan, but we're not gonna talk about Jersey. I'm a PA wrestler. We're gonna move on from that.
It's date time right now.
Yes, I know that's right. So hold up. So what else is it was something else I wanted to bring up and I couldn't. It was talking about wrestling. But wrestling being an older sport is very interesting because most of the time people get to see high school wrestling or college wrestling. They don't really understand the difference in the intricacies and the explosion of like Olympic wrestling, which is very wide open, very different. They score a lot more. And then there's two styles of Olympic wrestling with the Greco and the freestyle. Right. But I'll speak on that and I'll talk forever. We're going to keep this. Go ahead.
Well, I can't let this moment go. You were a Pennsylvania Greco state champion, and you were on the Pennsylvania Greco national champion, Greco national team. Yes. You also were a Pennsylvania state qualifier, and we won't speak about your match versus Ty Moore, but you did get the wrestle the great Ty Moore. And listen, Ty Moore is arguably, easily in the top 5 Pennsylvania wrestlers in the history of Pennsylvania. I think he only lost one match in high school.
No, he was undefeated. He lost it after high school.
Oh, was it after high school at the Diaper Dan?
It was USA versus. Hold up, let me keep this. This is where I take my PA pride. I'm gonna move on. This was PA versus the USA.
Yeah.
He lost to the guy from Oklahoma. I forgot his name.
Okay, good point. Yeah.
We wanted to bring up something real quick. We wanted to give a shout out to Peg McCook.
Yeah. The Peg McCook Sports Tournament is coming up this in July this year, July 16th to the 18th. I mean, they have cornhole, volleyball, softball, soccer, basketball 3-on-3. It's at Sion Playground. It's at Cahock's Playground. If you're interested, call Mark Lavelle. His phone number is 215-919-9373. You have Joe McCook, 267-767-9123. And I'm going to tell you guys one thing about this Peg McCook Sports Tournament. It's been going on this will be the 22nd year. I played in it in a basketball tournament a couple years back. I know my man Hector's played in. My daughter has played in it in the softball tournament. I will tell you one thing about the basketball 3-on-3 tournament. If you do not shoot the 3-point shot well and you do not defend the 3-point shot well, you will be sent home very quickly. Okay, so it's not a tournament for our guy Ben Simmons from Philly who won't shoot the 3. So it's not a Ben Simmons type tournament. And I'll tell you right now, it's been a while since I've gone down there, but the Comey brothers, which I know with Matt Comey is a point guard, and he played at North Catholic, and I believe he played at Holy Family, and he'll shoot the lights out on you. And his brother Kevin Comey, I think he's the redhead one. He's a little taller. He's super athletic. He'll dunk and shoot the 3. They got 2 or 3 other brothers, but don't worry. If you run into the Comeys in the first round, don't even open up the Gatorade because they're going to shoot bang, 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 lights out, you going home. So Peg McCook Tournament, it's a great event. It's our first mention that, so I want to thank Mark Lavelle. He brought it up to me, and I want to make sure we give him a shout out today. So good luck.
There you go.
Yep.
Let's make it happen.
Yes, make it happen.
So somebody brought up in the comments about Kerry Colott.
Oh, okay. Let me we have quite a few comments. Okay, let me see if they got.
Kerry Colott was a legend. He was my graduating class, and he's still a great coach. I learned from him still. Kerry Colott was the man, but that's what people don't understand about PA wrestling. Like Pennsylvania high school wrestling and Pennsylvania wrestling in general is really separated itself, and it doesn't always come out like it's not like SEC football where people say SEC football. It's something within itself. Like when you look at like SEC football is SEC football, right? You can go when you go out to the Pac-10. It's still a lot of people from California. When you go out up north and the Big Ten, it's people from up north. But when you go to wrestling, you go to Stanford, it's people from Pennsylvania on their national. You go to Iowa, they got kids from PA on their team that's the best. You go to Arizona. And so it's not just that we have our homegrown talent in college, but our homegrown talent leaves the state and still makes an impact. But I don't want to harbor on wrestling. This isn't my show. We're coming back to my brother Miguel. How you doing, brother? And let's talk about Wimbledon. What's going on in Wimbledon right now?
Well, Wimbledon kicked off today, so a couple of things that started. Well, one, Serena Williams, who obviously is, I don't even know if it's arguable, the greatest women's tennis player of all time. Her game was rained out today. So unfortunately, her schedule gets tighter now because she won't have a day off. So usually you win, you get a day off, you win. Now she's going to be forced to play. If she wins her first match, she'll be forced to play back-to-back days. Now, while she's the greatest player of all time at this stage in her career, it's not as easy for her to bounce back. You know, she's a mother, she's had a baby not too long. I mean, I'm sure she's recovered from that, but still, she's got a lot of other things going on. She's in her mid-30s. You know, she's going to need some time to recover, but that's not the case. And then it was Sloane Stevenson. I watched her play today, and she actually beat a two-time Wimbledon champion, and it was nice to see her, you know, get back. She's had some injuries, and she's doing well. Of course, the big story, well, two big stories on the male side was my man Joker, Novak Djokovic, number one player in the world. He's got 19 major championships, so he needs to win. Well, he needs to win Wimbledon or one more major championship, but to tie Nadal and Federer, who have 20 overall titles, major titles. And Joker dropped the first set 4-6, but of course he comes back and he smokes the guy like 6-1, 6-2, 6-2. So Joker's on into the second round, and he's actually trying to pull the Golden Slam because he wants to win the 4 majors. He's already won the first 2. He wins Wimbledon. Then he'll go to New York to hopefully win that. And then he's got the U.S. Olympics. Well, not the U.S. Olympics, but the Tokyo Olympics that he's going. So he's going after the Golden Slam. So Joker is advanced. And the other major story that came out of Wimbledon today, so far in the day, is Andy Murray. Andy Murray, British player, 2-time Olympic champion. He hasn't played in Wimbledon in over 4 years. He had some back surgery. I think he had knee surgery as well, but he's been out. He's been battling injuries, and he was out there. He won a 4-set today. So, you know, big ups to him, you know, for coming back from his injuries and winning his first match and advancing. I mean, and the crowd was behind him, of course. He's a home guy, so he's going to have a lot of support. He'll be a tough out because he's got a lot of support, even though he's a little banged up.
Okay. So now we've hit Wimbledon. We've hit wrestling, Olympics, all these other things. Now we need to go to one of your favorite sports, the MLB.
MLB, Major League Baseball. You got to love what's going on right now in Major League Baseball. A lot of young talent that's going on right now. The baton has been passed along to these young people. I mean, Mike Trout is out, but you have Vlad Guerrero Jr. If you remember his dad was a great player. Took him amazing stat between the father and son. They both had their 50th home run in their 258th game, ironically or coincidentally, that they would both hit the same amount of home runs within the same amount of games. But Vlad Jr. is leading the American League right now, probably for MVP. But the big story of baseball is really the spider tack right now that's going on. Spider tack is what's happened is pitchers, obviously, they need grip on the ball. So they either use sweat on the eyebrow, and you always see the pitchers kind of go into their hat and go to their jersey a little bit, and they're grabbing for a sticky substance. So, of course, Major League Baseball is saying, hey, we gave you guys a little inch. We allowed you to use this stuff at the beginning, but now it's gone to a mile. And these guys are using this sticky stuff in order to control the ball, but it's giving such a great velocity. So they got a lot of jump on the ball. They have a lot tighter, you know, when they throw their curveballs or their slider, their spin rate is so much higher. So they're getting much more miles per hour on the pitches. And what's happened is becoming an advantage towards the pitchers. Now baseball has stepped in, and baseball steps in mid-season, which is amazing that they would do this in mid-season. There's no one who's pitching in the major leagues that's never pitched without spider tag. I mean, you didn't make it to this level and not have this, I guess, competitive advantage. I'm not a fan of it. I think that the pitchers should have the spider tag use, maybe control it, maybe they have a certain amount. And the reason being is if they can't control 97 miles an hour, it's going to be a matter of time for they hit somebody in the wrist, hit somebody in the elbow, hit somebody in the ribs, face, helmet, and end someone's season. So you're going to have an MVP candidate, a Cy Young. One pitcher who's already got hurt said that Tyler Glasnow from Tampa Bay, he claimed his injury to not being able to have spider tack available to him.
Wow.
And yeah, so here's the other thing is now we've had some embarrassing moments. In Philadelphia, you had the Phillies manager, Joe Girardi, challenge Max Scherzer. And it was it was a total, show. Max Scherzer's taking off his hat. He's shaking his head. He's trying to get grip. He can't get grip. And then they're arguing. He checked him 2 or 3 times. I mean, it's an embarrassment to the game. And then you have one guy, Romo, taking down his pants.
Oh, yeah.
And then another guy was about to strip down. The umpire was like, hold on. So now that baseball's had a week of trying to adjust this. And I think the only thing the pitchers have is the rosin bag, which a little bag on the mound. They kind of use that to wipe moisture off their hand. But it's the only thing they can do right now to grip. There was a player that was ejected. He was the first player ejected for what they call sticky stuff. So we're going to see more and more of that. It's going to be a competitive disadvantage.
Well, baseball and all sports are like people used to say about criminals. As soon as you get better cops, you're going to get better criminals. So they're going to find a way to cheat.
Well, they're going to
baseball always does.
Baseball has all of these unwritten rules, right? So, batters use pine tar all the time. And, of course, the infamous one is George Brett. He hits a home run, they take the bag, and he goes off crazy, storms the field, right? But batters use pine tar all the time. They use it for an advantage so the bat doesn't slip out of their hand because all you need is a guy swinging that bat with that kind of velocity, and the bat goes ahead and he hits the pitcher. Every so often, the bat gets swung out of a batter's hand and it goes in the stands, right? Well, that's what the I forget what it's called right now. The pine tar. That's what the pine tar is intended to do. I mean, it's meant for the hitters, to have a grip on the bat. So
now,
if you take away the tar attack, you take away the pine tar.
Yeah. So I want them to have a grip, but what I want to talk about is these grip on this NBA playoffs.
Oh man, listen, I'll tell you right now. Tonight's game. Well, we can talk about tonight's game. CP3, you talking about a grip? They got a stranglehold on this series right now in the Western Conference Finals. I mean, Phoenix is up 3-1 at home. I don't see how they survive getting out of there. I mean, I there's no way the Clippers can win this game. I don't see it. Booker been on fire. I mean,
what about their board? Playoff P. Something P. Any P. He could be any one of them P's he want to be. No, I'm talking about Paul George. Playoff P.
PG. Yeah, PG3.
Yeah, he could be whatever he wants to be, but he ain't showing up right now.
No, he's actually had a very solid postseason this year, but it ends tonight. I think DeAndre Ayton, he's a beast. He had 20-something boards. I mean, he's a 2020 guy waiting to happen, soon to be a max player. And Devin Booker is just a bucket. He's a walking bucket, so he can score going left, going right, to the rack, mid-range, shoots the 3. They're going to be tough to beat. They'll be tough to beat. I got Phoenix winning tonight. And the way they're playing, they're just so athletic and run the floor. I'll go ahead. I'm going to call them the 2021 NBA champions.
Wow. You think they'll beat Milwaukee?
I don't know that Milwaukee's getting there. I think Milwaukee had a little luck last night when Trae Young, who is the story of the postseason, by the way.
Yes.
Trae Young twisting his ankle on the official last night. He drops 35. That wasn't enough. I think the time that he spent in the locker room getting worked on, while Atlanta was winning, it just allowed the momentum to change a little bit. I mean, he did come in, hit a 3-pointer or 2, but then Chris Middleton gets hot, and he was tough last. I think he had 38. I mean, he hit back-to-back threes. Milwaukee overcame a 15-point deficit in the first half, and then it was tied at halftime, and it just took off. It was a good game. good game. But I don't know that Milwaukee's getting to the finals though, Kobe.
Yeah, well, Trey gonna have to show up. If he doesn't show up, they won't. But Trey just reminds me of a light-skinned R&B singer. Right? That's all I keep thinking about.
Listen, he might be able to do that in the off season as well. But as I like to say, we got to give him his flowers, man, because I think he was the number 5 pick or something in the 2018 draft. He was traded for Luka Doncic, who's a triple-double every night, for the Dallas Mavericks. But he's going to be a max player. He's going to get one of those super max, $30 million a year, $40 million a year. But he's been like must-see TV. Like I'm a Sixer fan and you want the Sixers to win, right?
Yeah.
But their half-court offense is terrible. And watching Trae Young just shoot the ball from wherever is actually fun. From an entertainment value, I'm having much more fun watching Trae Young play than I would the Sixers play at this
He
point.
opens the ball up. He opens the game up. And Sixers don't get the ball. Like, you got 2 players who play in the middle. Your 2 of your quote-unquote max players, their game is between those 2 lines. And, when you clog the middle and nobody's lighting it up from 3, that's what happens.
Yeah, it's true. But I think that Eastern Conference final is even though Milwaukee has a 2-1 lead, if Trae Young can come back and he obviously can't miss a game, he has to be healthy. I don't know that anyone's 100%, but as long as he has his quickness and his speed, I think he can make enough shots to extend this here. I mean, Milwaukee is the favorite. I mean, they're the favorite. They have some. We haven't even talked about Giannis, a 2-time MVP.
But he's boring to watch, man. He's not as exciting to watch. The other, I think the other guy. What's his name? What's the other guy? I think he's better than him, man.
Yeah, he's a freight train. He's a 2-time MVP. He's a freight train. I mean, you give him the ball, you run ISO. You run ISO. You get the ball at the top of the key, and he just goes to the rack, right or left, and he's trying to attack. With either hand, he's just trying to dunk on everybody. Although he did make a 3, that's not an advised part of his game. He just doesn't shoot it well. But it's interesting that he can be.
At least he shot it.
Excuse me.
At least he shot it.
This is true. We'll take that as a subtle shot at our point guard from Philly. But no worries. But yeah, he did shoot it. So I see. I don't have a feel for that, but if I had to pick, I got Milwaukee, Phoenix, and Phoenix winning in 6 games, maybe 5. I don't even know that Milwaukee can win 2 games in that series.
So look, we're getting ready to round out the show.
Right.
With a few things. First, we're going to bring up something.
Oh, this is my young bull, Sean O'Toole, from Archbishop Ryan High School. He competed this weekend in South Florida in Disney at the AAU Nationals. He went 10-2, I believe was his record for the weekend. He was a double All-American. He All-American as an individual, and he All-American as a team. He was wrestling for a team called Team PA Brawlers, #Brawler Nation. So big ups to Sean O'Toole for representing our area and doing well down in Florida. So I'm looking for big things in this high school season. You're going to hear a lot from this kid. The member of my team, Youngins. He'll be the captain this year. So big ups to Sean O'Toole.
I got to get my sons with him. But so since you pulled that out, I had to pull up some of my brothers from Harrisburg Wrestling, that were down there too. And I had to give a shout out. That's Coach Dom in the middle, Commodore Dom. That's the coach, Tyreek and Shamar. Shamar was 11-3, and he was an AAU All-American. Shamar is the guy on the right-hand side. So I just had to round that up. I couldn't let you get away with that without throwing a little Harrisburg Wrestling in
boys,
there.
Right? Hey,
yes.
Man, let's give it up for the youngest, man. Let's give it up for the youngest. Hey, listen, man, as we wrap up this show, I want to thank you once again, for making this happen. We'll get better as we go along with this, but I really, from the bottom of my heart, I really, really appreciate the opportunity to have this forum, to communicate with people. I see some people have left comments in the chat. I'll go on Facebook and and read all the comments and look for any, you know, constructive criticism, suggestions, and we're gonna make it happen. I look forward to next Monday. And of course, you know, thanks to Cobi Vision, it'll be on the Cobi Vision site, so you can take us home with anything you need to add on that.
Well, I want to say, you know, you're always my brother. And I'm going to leave everybody with this, and most people won't know what I'm talking about, but all the people who do understand. I'm going to be a savage and ravage the package. Y'all have a beautiful evening. Good night.